Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, and our non-binary babies out there, because there are some of them. Welcome to Live from the CRJ, the official podcast of the Dillard University Center for Racial Justice. My name is Lawrence Weber, and I am the project assistant here at the CRJ, and we always keep an empty seat for our project coordinator, Miss Tia Suggs, who is always out doing anything and everything to make the CRJ great. I have a wonderful guest with me today. Brother Saleem, if you could introduce yourself.
Habibullah Saleem, he's not mean, full of steam on the scene. Don't like the pork and beans, the lima beans, the navy beans, the pinto bean. Don't like the melting ice cream, always on the scene. Seldom does he dream. He's not fat, he's not mean, it's not a scheme, it's not a dream. Don't give him no red beans, no lima beans, the navy beans, the pinto bean, the green bean, no collard green, no string bean. And for God's sake, please don't get that brother more pork and beans. His mind is keen, he wants supreme. No wonder they call him Habibullah Saleem, because he comes into your house with his washing machine and he wants your house to stay clean, and therefore I'm Habibullah Saleem, the motivator for parents, teachers, students, in order to keep the battery alive, because if the battery is dead, the vehicle's not going anywhere. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be on this show today. I'm an educator, and I work with youngsters. I work with preschool youngsters. I work with college students. I go into the jails and to the prisons and all these parishes. I just been around, and I thank Muhammad Ali for allowing me to be with him for years and teaching his children and traveling with Ali. And matter of fact, I would say a major birthday, a champ well known in and out the ring. He maintained his own. Muhammad Ali. He's the man we will never forget, because he made us in so many ways free with courage. That's who I am, an educator, Habibullah Saleem.
You're also over Community Champions on the Move, which is going to be putting on the second Muhammad Ali Acts of Kindness. Now, I had the pleasure of seeing the first one and recording that one, and it was a lot, and it was a beautiful presentation, and I was honored to be there. Can you tell us a little bit of what you guys got planned for this year's 2024 celebration?
This year we are looking forward to bringing in one of Muhammad Ali's daughters, who would speak on behalf of Ali. And the whole idea is to show people that Ali did so many things that were kind to people. So it's a Muhammad Ali Acts of Kindness Youth Day, opposing violence and crime. So she's going to speak on what she was able to witness about Muhammad Ali being a daughter in terms of his kindness and what have you. And so we want our youngsters to be, this is like the results of what we're doing, to be champions wherever they go. In the classroom, on the streets, wherever you are, be a champion. And that word champion, it begins with the letter C and it ends with the letter N. So we have to see from the very beginning to the very end what it means to be a champion. So acts of kindness, it's okay to lift people up. I don't have to know what church you're from or what school you're from. If I see you fall down, I see you as a human being.
Absolutely.
So I can pick you up and help you get up without knowing all your history. I just know one thing that's very important. You're a human being, and you're a good human being.
Absolutely. Like I said, here is my question. What was the inspiration to start this? Where did it actually start? Because I know the first one was in October of last year. Of course, this year we're going to also be having it in October. But what was the inspiration to begin this? We
had acts of kindness years ago. I don't remember exact year, but years ago we had acts of kindness in Dallas, Texas. Okay. We had acts of kindness every day for a whole week. Okay, every day, all day. I was able to entertain 15,000 youngsters at the Dallas Arena, in the boxing ring with the mic coming down.
Oh.
And so I said, man, why don't we do this in New Orleans? And then I thought about coming up with the title, Community Champions on the Move. Mm-hmm. So when I thought about it, and I talked to Burghart and Jeff, the treasurer and the secretary, they said, man, I want to be a part of it. So we started Community Champions on the Move, and our first, as you said, our first performance was last year here on Dillard's campus, and that's an honor right there, just to be on Dillard's campus, and to know that you guys also recognize the value of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And so we want to continue to reach out because we want to reduce crime, not just in New Orleans, but in America. We want to reduce it. We want to make sure people can feel safe wherever they go. They don't have to worry about somebody, breaking into their automobiles, or taking their cell phones, or whatever, committing in home invasion, all the stupid stuff that goes on in many of our cities. So we want to set an example here in New Orleans, a model.
Absolutely.
Community champions on the move. And we know that the future is our youth. Today it's the adults. Tomorrow it's them.
Absolutely.
So let's prepare them properly.
And like I said, I'm an 80s baby. So I've grew up with I believe the children are our future.
Yes.
So needless to say, the importance, literally the first song that I ever learned was Quincy Jones's Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, but did Quincy Jones and Tevin Campbell, they taught us that when I was, oh my goodness, a kindergartner. So it was the first song that I ever learned. So I've always been attached to feeding into and pouring into our youth so they make a better tomorrow, because they are basically what we leave behind. And first of all, let's delve a little bit into your work with Muhammad Ali, which the other day I had a gentleman, Brother Mukasa, who worked with SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and the Black Panthers, and I'm like, I've got history all coming through my podcast room. It's really amazing. But can you talk to us about some of the work that you did with Muhammad Ali, and sort of, I just want to know how he was.
Muhammad Ali, when he had his children attending school in Philadelphia, Muslim school, I became the principal in Camden, New Jersey. And Ali was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is not that far. So I said, man, it'd be wonderful if I can get in touch with him and let him know about the motivation that I use to teach youngsters. And we said, like we were saying, lifesavers, that's what we're all about. Lifesavers, that's what we're all about. So the whole idea was to show Muhammad Ali that we can teach children and keep excitement as part of the process. Make that music, poetry, all that. Anyway, when I found out that Muhammad Ali's children was in a school in Philadelphia, Muslim school, I somehow or another found his phone number, and I got in touch with him. And I told him what I was doing, and he became excited because of the motivation, And Muhammad Ali being a Muslim, I'm a Muslim, and also the whole idea of he enjoyed motivation. He enjoyed inspiration. So when I was able to say to him, who said poor people can't overcome being poor? You have to think smart if you really want more. Now, any kind of work, it just won't do. You have to do work that will elevate you. So anyway, the whole idea was reach them, now teach them, and be able to reach them on their learning style. So Muhammad Ali was so impressed with the way he took his children out of the school in Philadelphia and brought them to me in Camden, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
I said, wow. Wow. You said, oh, wow. I said, wow. And wow, to me, is worthy of winning. W-O-W. Mm-hmm. Worthy of winning. Wow. So it was worthy of winning, Ali, to allow me to teach his children, to allow me to travel with him every day, just the two of us on his bus. He had his own bus. So it was just exciting moments for me in my life, and I'll never forget it.
And like I said, I know that was probably around maybe like probably mid-70s. So at that period of time, if I'm not mistaken, Muhammad Ali during that period of time was dealing, I feel like, with the backlash from being a conscientious objector to the Vietnam War. I do know, because last year I was like, I always know that he did a Broadway play. I know that he had gone in different routes because of the issue of not allowing him to box as a penalty for rejecting the draft. So can you kind of give us an idea of just how he was? Because everything that I have ever heard of him seems like a very kind of even keeled guy who has an amazing sense of humor. Anything I come to see, anything I've seen him with in like old clips and things like that, he's really funny.
he was locked in. Courage. If you want to, courage was something that he enjoyed. He enjoyed using his courage and his lack of fear to get people who are being mistreated out of those situations. And Muhammad Ali was very gentle. At the same time, when he had to do something that required courage, he was able to do that. And he didn't want to challenge the weakest person. He wanted to challenge the most powerful individual.
Absolutely.
He said, I don't want to, get no wimp. Otherwise, I tell people right now, I said, when I'm sparring, don't give me no wimp. Put somebody in the ring that's going to challenge me. So when I'm sparring with someone verbally and the guy gets out, oh, man, I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't want to talk to you. I said, man, they sent me a wimp. I want somebody going to challenge me. So Muhammad Ali, what I liked about Ali, I was with Ali when Ken Norton broke his jaw.
Oh, wow.
I was with Muhammad Ali, just the two of us running. You gonna stop me from talking? How you gonna stop me from talking? Breaking my jaw ain't gonna stop me from talking. Mm-hmm. I'm too pretty. But he's saying he was just humorous, and the people would come up to the training camp, mm-hmm. and he would entertain. He said, "Did you say trigger or did you say nigger?" Back in the day, he said, "Did you?" So he. And I'm talking about Caucasians, Uh-huh. Did you say trigger? Did you just? So Ali was the person who just wanted to keep you happy, and at the same time, he knew he was on a mission. Absolutely. He knew he was on a mission, and boxing was not the end results of his mission. His mission was always his people.
Absolutely.
So when he met me and I met him, he was really enthused because I had something for his children. And Ali loved children. Ali wanted to see, because he knew what he was. He was once, 10 years old, 8 years old, 5 years old, what have you. When the bicycle incident, all that occurred.
Absolutely.
So to be in the presence of this person, I wanted whatever good he had to rub off on me. I wanted it to rub off on me. I never thought about getting in the ring and boxing, but I wanted everything else to rub off on me,
Absolutely.
So
except for the fist.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Like, don't punch me.
Let me just tell you one story. He would take the police dogs, the K9s. Mm-hmm. He would let them wrap his hands, his wrists, his hands, his arm, hold up to the elbow. Mm-hmm. And then he would let the dogs bite him. Wow. Bite his arm. And Ali's like, he's talking to the dogs. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? So I said to Ali, why did you do that? What was that about? He says, when I get in the ring, the fear goes away quick. So by me allowing those dogs to do what they do, it helps me to overcome the fear that many people don't overcome when they get in the ring.
Oh, wow.
So those dogs were helping me. to overcome fear. I said, wow.
Wow. Now here's another question that I had. What brought about the acts of kindness? Was it just something that he had a mindset of doing? Was it a mantra that he had? Was it something that just came about organically, or did he actually write things down when he was doing things?
Well, it just came automatic with Ali. Ali would see you like in a waitress. You go in the restaurant, and he would just say things like, "You ain't ugly as you try to look." The whole idea. What Ali wanted to do was get people's attention.
Absolutely.
And once he was able to get your attention, then he was able to feed you whatever it is he thought he needed to feed you. But he wanted us to see that being kind to people, even though you're a fighter, being kind to people is a priority, a major priority that the Creator has asked us to do with each other. Be kind to each other. The fingers, the 5 fingers, they work together. All the letters of the alphabet, they work together to make words, to make sentences, to make paragraphs. Work together. Be kind to each other. So when I thought about, acts of kindness to start the program, I started thinking about, I said, you know what? A lot of people don't know about a lot of things that Muhammad Ali did to show his kindness towards other people, And I think we need to zero in on that. So when people come to Community Champions on the Move, all 12 rounds, we have 12 rounds, each round is 3 minutes, and the people will talk about what they learned from Muhammad Ali as it related to acts of kindness. So Ali himself was not trying to start a program. He actually lived acts of kindness. He actually lived it. We're doing something to recapture what it is that he did. And as much as he and Joe Frazier and other fighters, he would talk about him and say things, Ali he loved those guys. He loved them.
Yeah,
he loved Joe Frazier. He loved George Foreman. He loved all of the people. He had, the one fighter, he had about 8 children.
Uh-huh.
And the fighter had never had any fights. They wasn't giving him enough. But he had to feed those. And Muhammad Ali said, I want to fight him. And I forget, I can't think of his name right now, but he wanted to fight him. He fought him. And he helped him to get money to take care of his children.
And here, wow. Again, I'm sitting here in awe because for you and of course for a lot of people, these are memories. These are people of things that, before a lot of us who are younger, this is history. And we're seeing just kind of another slant on history and the way things are progressing. So I have got a question for you. How do we take these acts of kindness, and not even just for the youth, but for everybody? How do we take these acts of kindness and weave them into our lives on a daily basis? Yes, we're having the event in October, but I feel like, especially now, it just seems like there is so much anger and tension and division. And you're a tad bit older than I am, so you can actually speak to a period of time in American history that was very contentious, especially for Black people and people of color. So you can at least speak more on that. But right now, I feel like we're kind of at that come to Jesus moment. Where there's sort of a reckoning and a newer movement that is happening. So how do we work towards activism while at the same time working towards those acts of kindness?
I think an assignment to be given to everybody who's listening, and those of you who are listening, ask this question of other people, this assignment, give this assignment to other people, and that is, what is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of life? If you ask somebody, what is the purpose of eating? Or what is the purpose of dancing? Or whatever. Many people can answer that. There are a lot of people who don't know, who have never been asked the question, what is the purpose of life? And what comes out of that question is fear. Because once you find out what the purpose of life is, you may have to make a change. Many people are afraid to make a change because they've gotten so addicted and so much into a groove of doing things the way they've already, been doing them, and they become comfortable. So what is the purpose of life? And do you have the courage? Once you take your vehicle to a mechanic, and he said, hey, I found something. It's going to have to be corrected. If you don't correct it, you're going to cause yourself and your vehicle a hard time. Mm-hmm. So you got to make some adjustments here. So that's one of the things. What is the purpose of life? Then I asked the question, what is the purpose of prayer? Why do we pray? Why do we pray? Mm-hmm. It ties in with the purpose of life. So in the word pray is the word pay, P-A-Y. And in the word pray is the word ray, R-A-Y. Mm-hmm. So what is the pay? To me, the pay in pray is the mercy of God. The pay is the mercy of God. What is the ray? The ray is the light. What is the light? The guidance. The guidance of God. God put us here so we can get paid. So we can get paid without robbing banks, without breaking in vehicles. My mercy will help you to get your pay. That's your pay. And also, what I want you to think about is, why did our parents tell us? Oh, by the way, the word ray has light. Now, when people go astray, mm-hmm. the word ray is at the end of the word astray. So the light is out. Uh-huh. So what are people trying to do when they say, I want Miller Lite, I want Coors Light, I want Bud Light, I want Superior Light? They're looking for the light that has gone out. It's out. They want to put it back. Like you said, what do? Acts of kindness is a way to help bring lights back, because our purpose was not to be mean to each other. Our purpose was to be guided by the Creator to love each other. And if we make mistakes, the mercy. Now, what is causing the severity of crime and violence in our cities? Do you remember when your mama told you, boy, don't ever eat your dessert before the main meal?
She may have told me that a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I just turned 40.
Because if you eat your dessert before the main meal, at some point you may not ever want the main meal.
Yeah.
So what we've done, we put emotional abortion over rational thinking. We put pleasure. We put matter over mind instead of mind over matter. So many of us are in reverse. We're in reverse. And we don't know it because reverse has been made fun to us. It's been made fun to us. So we have, used to tell, our parents would say, I want you to eat 3 balanced meals. Not just eat 3 meals. He said, make sure they have balance. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about excitement, we don't have a balance there, because in education, it's down on the bottom almost, and all the excitement and pleasure is up at the top. So you have in the word pleasure, there's an E-R-A-S-E, erase. The word erase is in there. Mm-hmm. There's other words in there as well. Okay? Please, I think please is in there. Please give me back my original. Because switch, in the word switch is the word wit, W-I-T. So we have allowed our wit to be switched. Mm-hmm. And my mother used to say, go get me a switch. And don't bring me a little one. Bring me a big switch so I can switch you back to doing what I told you to do. Stop eating your dessert before you eat your main meal, because after a while you're going to love dessert so much that you're not going to even think about the main meal. And the main meal, I tell people, I said, bruh, you know what your dessert is? You don't mind getting her pregnant. That's your dessert. You don't mind getting her pregnant. But what about taking care of the child? Mm-hmm. What about the main meal?
Now,
I hope I'm sorry that
it's like we only have a finite amount of time now.
Yes.
So I ask this question of almost all of my guests, and I want to ask this question to you, and I know I'm going to get a fun answer. It's the magic wand question. If you had a magic wand, and it throws a lot of people off. If you had a magic wand that could change one thing, what would you change?
I would change people from being arrogant, belligerent, and in order to become humble and patient. Humble and patient. See, so instant gratification is what our youngsters are advertising out here on the streets. Instant gratification. Lack of patience. Not wanting to go through the same process. You know, in school, I'm going to copy off of you because I partied all night. Okay? I'm going to copy off of you because I partied all night. And so what I'm saying is...
But enough about my sophomore year here at Dillard.
Hey, look.
Hopefully I'll get in trouble for that.
Look, the guy who copies off of you, he knew enough to know that you weren't dumb. Mm-hmm. He knew who to copy off of. But we have to stop pushing aside what we need to be about and do what we're supposed to do. And not copy off other people when we could have been studying and learning just like anybody else. We all have the same brain, that we're all given the same brain. So why are some people better off than others? Because they're using it in the correct manner. Others are using it see, on a battery or the automobile, you have a positive and a negative. And the positive is saying to the negative, I'm not going to allow you to cause this vehicle to go in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm. And I think here is the other thing. I remember a period of time, because social media is a thing. Social media is a thing. It's now a part of our lives and a part of our world. I remember a time that there was no social media. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when there was no internet. So, like I said, as a child, we were like the first one on the block to have internet, and it went slow. And if somebody called you, you got knocked off the internet. But I'd say all of that to say this: for a lot of people, I feel folks get misconstrued when it comes to, and social media plays a factor. They do have because it shows instant gratification. It shows a whole bunch of an aspect of life to strive to without knowing about the struggles that it took to get there. The best way, and I ironically enough, I saw a meme of an apple, and the apple is sitting in front of a mirror, and the apple looks pretty in the mirror, but at the back of the apple, it's brown and has a bite out of it. So, like I said, that's what, and I do my best to tell our students, that's what social media is, what people allow you to see. You don't see the heartaches unless they allow you to see it. You don't see the frustrations and the sadness and the mental health situations and all of that unless they allow you to see it. So I don't want, especially youth who are very, very impressionable, very, very impressionable. So in my opinion, we have to make it clear to folks that life ain't easy. Life is not easy. Life is not, sometimes life can be beautiful, but sometimes life can't. Sometimes life isn't pretty.
And see what you're saying, years ago they used to wear the mini skirts, right?
Yeah.
So he said, what you see is interesting, but what you don't see is devastating.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea is that we have to be able to see not only what's in front of the curtain, we have to learn what's behind the curtain.
Absolutely.
Because many of the decisions that are being made behind the curtain.
Yeah.
So that's where the main meal is, and they give you the dessert. And if you're not careful, like I said, why did I get cavities? All that gum you was chewing, all that candy you was going after, you was going after the dessert, and you didn't want the main meals.
Exactly.
And it took me a long time to start valuing vegetables, valuing, the vitamins and minerals, and so now many people, when they get it, they start looking for those things. They start looking for the main meal because the dessert deserted them.
Brother Saleem, thank you so much for being on the show. I feel like I've been trying to grab a hold of, I feel like I'm getting more and more people that I've been trying to grab a hold of for a little while. And it only came when we're almost at our year point for Live for the CRJ. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in seeing community champions on the moves, Muhammad Ali's Acts of Kindness, that is going to be October the 5th, 2024 from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. That's where, and it's going to be here at Dillard University in the PSB, what we call the Professional Sciences Building in George's Auditorium. That is PSB room 115. It is going to be if last year was anything that gives a fraction of what will happen this year, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be uplifting, it's going to be empowering, and it's going to be a fun time. I think we had a band last year.
We had a band, and we had attorney Willie Zanders. He presented 24 youngsters with $50, just like that. Each one of them received $50 cash, just like that. Bam! We had Congressman Troy Carter to send a video. I mean, we had some dynamic. Oliver Thomas was on one of the presenters. So we're going to have youngsters. We had youngsters speaking. They're going to be doing it again this year. So, it's beautiful when somebody can say, today I'm here as a special guest, but I want you to know that you were the best. You listened to us well as we gave you the facts, and now get the knowledge and don't turn back. Learn to write and learn to read, because one thing for sure, we will all succeed. We just have to support and be present at acts of kindness, opposing violence and crime.
And I think that's the perfect I feel like that's the perfect way to close out our episode. Like I said, if you want more information, you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I do understand the irony of me kind of talking down on social media while telling y'all of CRJ's social media. I know what I said. Don't you judge. But you can follow us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/CRJXDU. That is facebook.com/CRJXDU. Follow us on Instagram. That is Instagram.com/CRJ_DU. Or if you're on Instagram, just hit the search bar and go CRJ_DU, and you'll see us. If you want to actually talk to us, you have that option. I'm still waiting on somebody to send me an email. Don't nobody want to send us an email? I'll tell you the email again. That is crj@dillard.edu. That is crj@dillard.edu. Brother Saleem, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. It was very uplifting. And for myself, I am Lawrence Weber. And of course, we have that chair that always seats Miss Tia Suggs.
You're more than Lawrence Weber. You are excellent. You are incredible. You are impeccable. You are astounding. I mean, I really enjoy and admire the way you handle yourself, the way you handle the show, and the way you fed me questions, and you're just a person that we need in our lives because you represent the ice cream parlor approach. There's a flavor for everybody.
Yeah, and this is the second, third, fourth time that a guest has made me blush. It's not a pretty sight. I'm just glad we don't do video. So for us here at the CRJ, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.